welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, so Thursday night television is usually about as entertaining as watching fat old men play golf, right? Europa League football. Oh, does that usually get your pulses racing? About the same as playing Christmas Eve Cluedo with your aunt. No, the mere sound of it probably fills you with dread. That is usually correct about this competition, but not this season, because look at the European giants swimming in this tournament. It's actually pretty mouth-watering. I'm going to predict every knockout match in the Europa League, but also, just hang on, Celtic fans, and Leicester, because I'm going to do the Conference League as well in the second half of the video, although to be honest, is anyone really going to be celebrating winning that? I mean, do you even get to lift a trophy? Or is it just a certificate printed off the internet? I mean, is it one of those paper mache trophies you could win using that claw machine? Were the medals knitted by Alexander Seferin's mum? I mean, honestly. But yeah, prediction time. Alright, let's go. Barcelona versus Napoli. I'm sorry, but this just looks weird. What are Barcelona FC doing in the Europa League? Right, it just looks strange, doesn't it? I mean, it's like seeing Will Smith buying shoes in an Oxfam charity shop in Stoke. I mean, you might think a massive club like them, with a bunch of superstars in their team, they're going to eat this competition for breakfast, right? No, they're in the Europa League for a reason. And I'm sorry, the addition of a frustrating winger from Wolverhampton Wanderers and some sulking Arsenal misfit isn't going to suddenly change my mind. They're not going far in this competition at all. How arrogant are you to assume that Barcelona are going to win this whole thing? No. The last time they were in this competition, they had Ronaldinho, Carlos Puyol and Xavi, and were still sent packing by a team from Scotland. And they're up against a Napoli team who started the season with 8 wins in a row. I mean, again, Luciano Spalletti has them just 2 points away from the top of the league. A first league title since Maradona. I mean, you are winning this tie. The likes of Brazil defender Juan Jesus is going to keep Aubameyang buried in his pocket. Andre Zambo and Grisa is going to stick in a midfield powerhouse of a performance to the extent where he's probably going to make little boy Pedri cry. And this is going to be the breakthrough match on a European stage where Victor Osimhen becomes one of the most wanted footballers on the planet. He'll smack in 2 goals and a 2-1 win at the new camp before, they'll grind out a 1-0 win in Italy. Sheriff Tiraspol versus Sporting Braga. Poor old Sheriff Tiraspol. I mean, this is a club born out of some muddy volcano in the Moldovan mountains. I'm pretty sure the goalie grew up having to fight off Vikings and wrestling polar bears in the snow, and yet they pull off a Herculean giant killing. The biggest result in Europe, beating Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. And their reward for that, a trip to Sporting Braga, facing off against a former Swansea coach. It's all a bit anticlimactic, that. I mean, it probably makes the likes of Sebastian Phil think, what was the point? Lads, Sheriff haven't actually played a competitive game of football since December 11th. 3 weeks before Christmas. So I'm guessing the players are right now, they're probably about as rusty as JLS. And I'm pretty sure they haven't sung a song since 2012. Honestly, these lads still haven't run off their Christmas dinner. They've all spent the last 2 months stinking of fried eggs and Nesquik. Yeah, I know in Europe this season, Carlos Carvajal's tactics have been about as convincing as Philip Schofield's marriage. I mean, they've struggled against teams from Serbia, Norway and Bulgaria. But I'm sorry, the Sheriff fairy tale is getting fed to the dog. I know, we all want the fairy tale ending for Sheriff Spall, right? But no, this is reality, this is real life. No fairy tale ending. Instead, it's going to be like watching Cinderella working street corners at 4 AM in Grimsby. Honestly, 3-0 Braga win, and then a comfy 4-0 win back in Portugal. Sorry, lads. Borussia Dortmund versus Rangers. I'm guessing when this draw was made, I'm sure Rangers fans probably couldn't stop crying into their cornflakes. Borussia Dortmund. I mean, come on. Yes, it's the glamour tie, but come on! They have arguably the most coveted centre forward on planet Earth, but I actually think this is going to be a tight tie. I mean, don't underestimate Rangers in European competition. Yes, I know, this team looks like it should be eaten with a spoon in Germany, but this is a Rangers side who ground out results against Lyon, Benfica and Porto on the road in recent years. Rangers are a brave team away from home. I mean, factor in the fact Haaland is out of the first leg through injury, and I'm sorry, Daniel Mallon is a giant downgrade. I think Rangers are going to dig in, be defensively organised. Connor Goldson is going to have the game of his life. And they're going to nick a second half goal against the run of play from Aaron Ramsey, and then maybe Marco Reus will bag a late equaliser. But honestly, the midfield battle between Jude Bellingham and Ramsey, a past and present of British wonder kids, that will be a fascinating match. But I think 1-1 in Germany, and maybe a 2-2 draw in Scotland, with Mats Hummels utterly freezing like a stiff garden gnome in that frenetic Ibrox atmosphere, few penalties, and I just have a feeling, I think Rangers will nick that that win. I can just see Alan McGregor wheeling away in celebration after saving a vital pen from, I don't know, Emre Can. Zenit St. Petersburg versus Real Betis. Here's my prediction. Real Betis are going to win the Europa League. I mean, I hope none of you are driving your car whilst listening to that, or you'll probably be hurtling towards a tree. Manuel Pellegrini in a European final. I mean, I know what you're thinking. Shouldn't he be sitting in a nursing home, drinking muesli through a straw, and begging his son to take him for a picnic in the woods? Lads, I know they've wobbled since Christmas, but the job he's done at Real Betis, outstanding. They've won 22 games this season. They've already got 1 foot in the Copa del Rey final, and are 3rd in the Liga. So to think that this glorious campaign started with a pre-season loss at Derby County, a club so financially crippled that they're probably this close to beating up school kids for their lunch money outside the local church. Yeah, I know Betis conceded 12 goals in the group stage, showing the defensive prowess of a punctured condom. I mean, probably due to the fact they were stuffing Claudio Bravo on goal. Again, somebody with hands that might as well be made out of Toblerone. This is a special Betis team. They're captained by Joaquin, who made his debut for the club in 1999. That is football heritage. I know Zenit should be the favourites because they came straight from the Champions League, but no! Hector Bellerin is going to smash home the winner from 35 yards. 1-0 win in Russia before grinding out a 2-1 win in Spain. Atalanta versus Olympiacos. Well, with Olympiacos, we are looking at the Greek Invincibles. Honestly, they are essentially football's answer to Zeus or Hercules. Lads, this team, coached by Pedro Martins, they've lost 2 league games in the last 97 attempts. 2 defeats since October 2018. I'm sorry, that is just freakish. And not only that, they only concede on average about 10 goals a season. But still, they're not getting past Jean-Pierre Gasparini's Atalanta, who are in a weird form. Because yeah, this is a club who've got the consistency of true Geordie's mood. 1 minute, they're grinding out away wins at Juventus and Napoli. The next, they're getting grilled on toast by Tammy Abraham. I mean, they've had 4 0-0 draws this season, but they also scored 6 to 8 Udinese. Honestly, it's weird. You don't know what Atalanta you're going to get. It's a team who are probably still kicking themselves in the scrotum, because how did they not beat Man United at least once this season? I'm guessing Duvan Zapata hasn't stopped biting the inside of his cheek. They'll win this match though. They'll grind out a thorough 3-1 home win before, yeah, Olympiacos might squeak the return leg 1-0 in Greece. But no, Atalanta are still going through. Porto versus Lazio. Honestly, why is competition just crumbling around Europe and every other domestic league? I'm sorry, but no team should really be allowed to go through the season unbeaten and so easily. But here we go. Porto still haven't lost in the Premier League this season. How exciting. Listen, it is a free-scoring exciting team, but currently Pepe is about to be banned for 2 years after once again proving that if he wasn't a footballer, would probably be getting arrested for biting the heads off hamsters down the local bowling alley. And you know, maybe spend his free time clubbing cats outside KFC. So he's gone, and they sold Luis Diaz to Liverpool. But still, Porto under Serge Conceição are still a top team. I know their Champions League efforts were pitiful, but they did at least beat AC Milan, so this is a really close tie. Listen, Maurizio Sarri has already won this competition. I mean, he's probably got that photo framed on his fridge. And I know some Chelsea fans thought that his style of football was about as fun to watch as 2 donkeys making love. But I'm sorry, they are the 2nd highest goal scorers in Serie A with 52 goals. I mean, factor in every competition and pre-season friendlies, and they've scored 90 goals since July. Are you not entertained? Ciro Immobile is only 7 goals off another 30 goal a season, but he's out of the trip to Porto because of hay fever. I'm sorry, but that's the limpiest excuse in the book. This guy earns what, £100,000 a week, and is going to miss the biggest game of the season because he keeps sniffing daffodils. But tough break for Pepe Reina though. After a 4-4 draw with Udinese, he's finally been dragged to the bench. I mean, to be fair though, he should have just copied Kepa and just point blank refused. Because we all know Sarri's got the backbone of a broken Power Ranger. Christ, well, I hope he's never asked to babysit his grandkids, or they'll all just run amok. The 7-year-old will be jumping in the bath with a PlayStation, and then he'll be too scared to say a word. Honestly, he'll be like Grandpa Simpson. This is a really tough tie though, probably the closest one in the entire competition. I don't know, I'll go for a 2-1 home win for Porto in the first leg, and then a dramatic 3-1 win for Lazio in Rome. Honestly, I'm guessing the Lazio Ultras on a European night. I mean, you need a warrior like Pepe for that match, not, you know, Chancel Mbemba. RB Leipzig versus Real Sociedad. Okay, RB Leipzig began the European campaign horribly, conceding 13 goals in the first 4 Champions League games. Christ love, even Jack Grealish scored. New boss Domenico Tedesco has steadied them after Christmas, but to me, their entire transfer business this season has been uncharacteristically awful. I mean, their entire centre-back duo of both Deo Upamecano and Ibrahim Konate both ripped out of their spine. Marcel Sabitzer was sold to Bayern Munich, and even the likes of Hee-Chan Wang, Brian Bobby and Ademola Lookman would have come in handy this season. Weirdly, Alexander Soleroth is actually on loan at Real Sociedad from Leipzig, so I'm guessing right now he's very confused. Listen, Sociedad exploded the season under Emmanuel Aquafil, but they did go 6 games without a win over Christmas, which thankfully probably forced football hipsters to stop hyperventilating into a coffee cup whilst watching HITC 7s in bed. I mean, this team haven't actually won 2 league games in a row since September. So, please calm down. And here are some stats which will horrify you. Alexander Isak. He's the next Swedish superstar, right? The second coming of Henrik Larsson or Zlatan. Well, there's a supposed £70 million superstar who has 4 league goals this season. You know, 8 goals less than Joselu, the guy who used to look about as threatening in England as a blow-up sheep. I mean, the world-class David Silva. The narrative is that he's having a wonderful time in Spain, right? He's played 90 minutes just once this season and has 0 goals and 1 assist in 20 matches. But I suppose that's what happens when you're now older than Bruno Mars. But Sociedad's biggest strength, the defense. 18 clean sheets this season. And yet nobody is linked with the goalie Alex Romero, someone who used to be Kepa's understudy at Bilbao. Looks like Chelsea signed the wrong one. But again, this is going to be a really, really close tie. I'll go for a pretty stale 0-0 draw in Germany. And then yeah, another 0-0 draw in Spain. Honestly, don't tune into this. I mean, go do something else with your Thursday nights. Watch The Apprentice. Take a piss in a post box. Anything else. Just don't watch this. Sociedad will win on penalties, that's my prediction. Sevilla versus Dinamo Zagreb. Okay, this isn't even close. Rafa Mir will bang in the first leg, hat-trick in Spain. 3-0 Sevilla win. Eric Lamela will smack the crossbar, putting off a Rabona with his shin. And then yeah, maybe a comfy 2-0 win in Zagreb. Honestly, the Europa League, this is Sevilla's competition. And again, this is my prediction. It's going to be an all-Spanish final. Sevilla versus Real Betis. Trust me, it's happening. Celtic versus Bodo Glimt. Right, Celtic, this is a tough match. I'm sorry, but Bodo Glimt are one of the most impressive underdog teams in Europe. I mean, they were able to stick 6th past a Roma team coached by Jose Mourinho. Clearly, this little fishing village from Norway are actually a pretty brilliant team. But I wish this was Roma. I'm sorry, but Mourinho travelling to a European cathedral like Celtic to face the same club he beat in the final of this competition 19 years ago. But now, they're not invited to the party. Instead, it's Bodo Glimt. Something which sounds like a brand of cheap ear medicine for dogs. Listen, Bodo are a brilliant team. They've won 6 of their 7 European games at home this season. But Celtic are also historically the kings of bottling the second leg. But this Celtic team are built different, right? Ange Postecoglou is performing a miracle turnaround job. And instead of the usual predictable bog standard Scottish level footballers, you know, enticing the likes of fat old men like Scott Sinclair and Carlton Cole for one last payday, you instead looked outside the box. I mean, what punter sipping Carlsberg in a Glaswegian pub last May would have had Kyogo Furuhashi, Georgios Giacomakis and Lil Abada on the shopping list? Honestly, signing players from Japan and Israel, it's weirdly refreshing. Chuck in the fact they've got a born winner like Joe Hart in nets, and yeah, I'll go for a squeaky 2-1 home win in the first leg, and then yeah, they'll lose 2-1 in Norway, and then Hart will become a penalty shootout legend for the club. You'll win on penalties. Anyway, that's for this episode. What do you think? Alright, let me know in the comments below. Put your predictions down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, and as always, I'll talk shit in a while.